What's up, everybody? So this is going to be part one of a three-part series on how to reach your overall fitness goals, whether that's to build muscle, to trim fat, whatever your fitness goals are. This is going to be part one of a three-part YouTube and podcast series on helping you be your best self and ultimately reach your fitness goals. So the layout is going to go like this. Part one today is going to be finding your maintenance, because no matter what you want to do, whether I want to build muscle, I want to lose fat, I want to do a combination of both, it doesn't really matter what it is. We have to first start with finding our maintenance calories, and then we'll talk about training kind of modalities to go along with that as well. But we have to start from finding a baseline, and that's what this first video is going to be going over. Now, through this video and through this podcast, you will get different modalities. We're going to talk about finding kind of maintenance calories from a calorie and nutrition standpoint. This is the first thing that we have to do if we want to have future change when we get to our build phase and our burn phase, which will be part two and part three. Now, we have to find our maintenance calories, and we'll talk about how to do that. But in order to do that, this could really be titled, it's titled part one, finding maintenance calories, but you could also title it part one, finding maintenance calories and building good habits and building good routines and everything, because those all come with finding maintenance calories, because there's a certain point of consistency that needs to be had and needs to be built in order to get there. A lot of people think that when you start to on your fitness journey, the results start to come, a couple weeks, a month after that. But the reality is it takes a month, maybe 2 months to really kind of build up those routines, those habits, those rituals, starting slow and building up in order to get to your ultimate goal where you will see results. Now, in part one that we're going to go over with the routines, the habits, and the rituals, and also kind of finding our maintenance calories, this is the time to do that. You won't see a lot of results. You might, and a lot of our clients do during this time, but that's a byproduct of consistency, routines, rituals, habits, getting enough protein in, a lot of the things that just come with being an optimal human being in order to live a really healthy, fulfilling life. That will eventually plateau. We all hear about the plateaus of health and wellness, and when no matter what our fitness goals are, that's kind of where those will happen, is once I build up the consistency, the routines, the habits, and everything, and then once I get to that point, you can hit a plateau, because in order for your body to change, you have to keep either adding, subtracting in order to continue towards your goals. So in order to do that, in order to build those good, consistent habits, that is ultimately going to lead us to finding out our maintenance calories, being consistent with our workouts, nutrition, and lifestyle things, we have to talk about kind of the construction of how do we build good, consistent habits and rituals. Now, this is directly from one of my favorite books, probably it's definitely top three favorite books, in order to just help you kind of, I think, break up some of that clutter that comes with building the good habits, how to break out of, having a bad habit, how to break a bad habit, how to build a new habit, and that is Atomic Habits by James Clear. So he actually breaks this down into 4 sections in his book, which is what he calls laws, which is the first one is make it obvious, second one is make it attractive, third is make it easy, fourth one is make it satisfying. And you should 1000% read the book yourself. I'm just going to give a quick overview on kind of some of the concepts so that maybe you can start to implement it. If you want to go in depth, it's the best, like I said, habit breaking, habit forming, helps you build, I think, consistency in your life book that I can recommend. I read a lot of mindset books, but it's the best one in terms of implementation that I think that you can have. A lot of people are, notorious time wasters, and I think that this book kind of helps a lot. So we're going to go over these 4 laws quick, but you should definitely read the book, 10, 15 pages a day, and kind of get that more in-depth thing, because what works for you, might not work for me, and how you implement it might be different than me as well. So within that first kind of law of make it obvious, there are a couple things that we can go through. So, one way is writing it down. So I will, behavior at X time in X location. So this just gives you a very clear path on what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and where you're going to do it. So for example, for me, I will, I will wake up at 5 a.m. and, well, I guess I will, this is a different habit, but I will, if I'm waking up, right, and I want to read in the morning, which is one thing that I'm doing, I will read at 5:15 at, my reading chair. So that would be behavior, time, and location. Waking up at a certain time would be another habit. But the reading habit will be, I will read at 5:15 a.m. in my reading chair, right? And then, he talks about like a habits scorecard to keep track, just to kind of keep it. But that's, like I said, don't want to get too far into the weeds in this. Another thing would be habit stacking. So if I have a current habit and I want to build a new habit, I can stack those habits together. So for example, for me, after I work out, I want to make sure I have enough time to do some mobility and some foam rolling and stuff. So for me, right, after current habit, new habit, after I work out, I will do 15 minutes of mobility training, right? The other part of this is make the cues of good habits obvious and visible. So an example of that would be, I talked about waking up early and reading. I have my book by my bed. I have to wake up, walk downstairs, and do that habit. And I actually put my book on top of my phone. So when my alarm goes off, I know I have to move my book in order to hit my alarm. Makes it a little less likely. It makes it obvious that I told myself I would read the night before. Makes it there's a little extra step in there in order for me to turn off the alarm and not hit snooze to get up early enough to read. So that makes it a little obvious and visible. So second law, make it attractive. So you can put an action you want to do with something you need to do. So if we take the same concept that I had of waking up early and getting into the habit of reading in the morning, I can wake up 10 minutes and I want to kind of scroll on my phone, watch YouTube videos, whatever it is. I could wake up at 5, I could do that for 10 minutes until 5:10, and then after that I'm a little bit more awake, and then that could be something that I want to do, something I need to do, which is get up and read. Same concept a little bit, do something you enjoy immediately before a difficult task. I can take, watching YouTube videos, or a show or something that I enjoy, or about a topic that interests me. You can do something you enjoy immediately before a difficult task. So if we talk about making it easy, the third law, reduce friction between tasks and reduce steps between you and your good habits. So if I know that I need to take the same concept, wake up in the morning and read, I'm going to set the coffee out the night before. I'm going to put my clothes out. I'm going to pack my gym bag. I'm going to get all my food ready the night before. That means that when I wake up in the morning, I'm groggy. I just kind of want to sit down and sip my coffee. Like, there's less actions that I need to get done before I can read in the morning. I'm reducing friction between what I need to actually do. If we take this to fitness, right, you can take all of these to fitness, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. If I'm going to train, I can train in the morning, I can train at evening before work. If I'm going to train after work, I need to bring my clothes with me. If I am, and then right once I leave work, I need to go to the gym, or I need to bring clothes with me to go from the gym, to work, whether that's, at home or not. And even if I'm going from the gym in the morning to back home to work, I can set my clothes out, I can have everything ready, I can make my breakfast either the night before or have everything set out for my breakfast for that day. So that way people will say, I don't have enough time to train in the morning because I'm minimizing that amount of time and I'm reducing that friction. So prime your environment is kind of similar to what I said with doing, like, setting your clothes out, making sure that you have a nice clean space, so that way your environment is conducive to reading. If I have things that are going to be on my work desk, or on my chair that I read in, or if we take this to fitness, if I have things that are going to be in the way, which is I don't know, like my work, or something that's distracting, like my phone. I can put certain settings on my phone, which is another one, which is kind of, you can automate things and kind of use technology to your advantage there. But I want to make my environment conducive to have less friction, but also to be helping me build habits, or making it easier to do the right habits, harder to do the wrong habits. The 2-minute rule is that when I'm trying to build a new habit, I need to downscale my habits until they can be done in 2 minutes. You can expand on this, and they can, make it, you can make it longer. But when I'm trying to, make it easy and build that habit, I want to downscale it so it can be done in 2 minutes or less. And the last one, master the decisive moment. The last one in this, law, master the decisive moment. So there's always that decisive moment between, am I going to do this, or am I going to do that? That moment can last a short amount of time or a long amount of time. If you can master that decisive moment, that's going to give you big results. Let's say, let's say you feel like heading to the gym and working out. The second that I know that I need to get up and work out, the decisive moment where it's like I can either continue going to this, or working towards training, working out to the gym, or I can not do that action. I need to be a absolute pro at mastering that decisive moment and gaining momentum there. Once I have the thought of going to the gym and working out, I have to take action on that. There was a thought manifest itself in 17 seconds or less. So if I think about something for 17 seconds, it will manifest itself, not physically, but in your head, and it'll be a positive. So if I think of something positive and I think about that for more than 17 seconds, it will turn into a positive thought or something. If I manifest a negative thought for 17 seconds or more, it will turn into a bad thing. So whenever you're thinking about doing something that is good for you, cooking, meal prepping, going to the gym, all these things that are good for us but do inherently have barriers there, if I can think about all the good things that come from that, I'm going to feel better. Like, I'm going to look better. I'm going to have, less pain. I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to, get around easier. I'm going to have, more mental, I'm going to have less mental stress. Like, if you think about that and remind yourself of all that stuff for 17 seconds, that gives you that kind of mastering the decisive moment to get up and move towards that habit. All right, fourth and final law, make it satisfying. Immediate reward when completing a task. Now, this could be different for everyone. For me, this is specific for me. Okay, whenever I wake up, I go to the gym and train. I'm doing work. I work out. Then my reward is food. And I know that is a very tricky thing for some people to understand, but I like to eat. I don't have a bad relationship with food. For someone that does, that's not gonna work for them. I do that for one of two reasons. I like to fast in the morning. I think it's just good for, this is a whole other topic, but I think that's good for gut health and kind of just giving your body that 10 to 12 hour kind of window to just not process anything, no insulin spikes or anything, especially when you're sleeping. Like I said, whole other topic. But then when I wake up in the morning, I like to kind of give myself that time, and then typically I will work out in the morning to some capacity, whether I'm going on a run, I'm doing jiu-jitsu or something, and then I'll come home. I might have like a small snack. I'll walk the dog. I'll get some things around. Those are all good habits. And then my reward after I get all that stuff, not all that stuff, but some of those tasks done, is then I'm eating breakfast. And then same thing with how I eat my lunch. So I'm eating my lunch then after I've gotten 2 or 3 task done, or I've worked for, an hour or 2 hours, then I cannot eat until I get X task done. For me, that's motivational because, there's a lot of things that come with, not eating. I'm hungry, I'm trying to eat a lot more protein. And obviously if I don't, eat right away, there's, obviously, that's an issue because it's going to be harder to get more protein in. So for me, that works. That's my reward when completing a task. For somebody that has a bad relationship with food and they're trying to work out of that, that's obviously not going to work for them. Another example of the immediate reward when completing a task could be, I'm going to time block this 2 hour or this 3 hour block. Hour 1, I'm going to do X. Hour 2, I'm going to do Y. Hour 3, I'm going to do Z. If I complete all 3 of those tasks, I will, for me right now, I'm really obsessed with the Witcher books. So for me, that could be, I'm going to read 20 pages of that, which is probably about 20 minutes, or 25 minutes of that. For someone else, it could be, I'm going to watch this 30-minute show, or, whatever it is, right? I'm going to whatever, right? After that. And then after 30 minutes of that, I'm going to go back to doing, X, Y, and Z. That would be immediate reward after it. Second thing, keep track of your habits and streaks. Don't break the chain. He talks about a habit tracker in the book. So I'm encouraging you should read the book. If you keep track of your habits in your streak, think about it like also something he talks about early on in the book is the compounding. Just like compounding interest, you have compounding success with building habits, right? And if you have I can't remember, it's 1%. I think it's one. If you go 1% better each day, you get 33% or something better at the end of the year. If I get 1% worse and you compound that, you get all the way down to 0. So it's like, if you get 1% worse, you go almost all the way down to 0. If I get 33, if I compound 1 going up, I get 33% better. Think about linking those habits and those streak as multiplier. 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, those all multiply the more I kind of build those habits, and I have that like a chain link, and I don't want to break the chain. Never miss twice. So if I don't complete a habit, that's okay. Give yourself a little bit of grace, but you can't do that twice in a row. I need to get back to that habit immediately, and I need to kind of work on getting back to it. Maybe a little self-reflection. Why didn't I complete the habit? But you never ever want to miss twice in a row. I missed a workout today. I cannot miss the workout tomorrow. I didn't meal prep today like I said it was. Yesterday I have to meal prep today. You can't miss twice.